knowing that his medevacs and Marines' lives would be forfeit against that mobile army of DRG.
I'm curious to see if he's going to make a planetary or an orbital over here in the center right hidden base location. And a planetary.
Yeah. Good choice. Of course, you don't really have any units up there. You have to stop that Zergling harassment. But great turrets so far. Look at this DRG having a hard time of things. But going right after the turrets, and he's going to take both of them out in a matter of seconds. Stim of the Marines, he baits out that stim and gets out of there. Very good harassment thus far.
Uh-oh, is he gonna? No, he turns down at the last second. And remember, MMA has to be very careful. He's moving around on the map with the small groups of units that could just become overwhelmed.
Now, very interesting. DRG is starting to pump out a lot of Zerglings and Banelings, so he may be going for a little 3-base timing here to try to bust up some of the army of his opponent. Of course, his supply is getting pretty high. He's at 155 to 140, but, you know, MMA definitely is not going to attack anytime soon since he snuck that base. Oh, wait a minute. Did he actually? He scouted it.
He sees it.
Oh.
He needs to get the mutas over there first. I would definitely throw up another turret.
Yeah, you got to get a lot of turrets over there. In fact, he might even use some Banelings, but he's got to be really careful with that. In fact, he looks like he is definitely going to use some Banelings.
If he uses the Banelings and destroys it, Terran does have the possibility of counterattacking. That's so many Banelings to just get rid of the planetary.
Yeah, that is certainly true, and looks like he's going to be going for it shortly here, Tasis. There's a Thor out on the map as well to try to stop these mutas, slow them down a bit, and he's going for it, but MMA knows all about it. He's scanned inland right on the army and going for it now. The mutas targeting it down, and Banelings, okay, taking it out, not losing all that much. Some good damage dealt by Zerglings and mutas as well, but here we go.
Nice.
MMA has trapped him. Oh my god, these Banelings going back into siege tank line, and MMA's micro is just too good. Look at these splits. Oh, absolutely crazy. Beautiful.
Oh my
What?
god. I cannot believe how beautiful he controlled that. And there's a drop over here as well, and the queen goes down.
Oh my god, MMA is everywhere. DRG in so much trouble right now. MMA, despite losing that base, moves up, traps the remaining pieces of the army. DRG sent everything over there, so then he lost everything except for his mutas. Beautifully done by MMA. And as you said, Tasis, he sees that he has a little timing window where he can move out on the map a bit more.
I'm not sure if he's sure he wants to push or not yet, but he's got to be careful because a similar situation can happen once again MMA if he loses his army, where he's just going to get so behind. And then DRG's going to have map control again.
DRG right now wants to set up a big flank if at all possible. If he can kill that army that is out in the middle of the map, he's going to be in such a great spot. But look at this, the counterattack not going to work. With the Nephos there, very well done. But this command center's life is going to be over shortly, Tasis, if he does target that. But look at this, MMA stimming now, running in with his entire army. DRG can get out of there. That was a huge stim.
Yeah, that was actually maybe over stim there. But look, I mean, he's going to be 3-base for 3-base right now. It is 164 supply to 148 now for MMA.
Well, resetting up that expansion now, keeping those upgrades going. +3 attack on the way, whereas +2 melee and +1 muta armor on the way for DRG. So MMA definitely dominating in upgrades so far, but his 3rd base just now starting. We are going to really need to see an additional base out of DRG pretty quickly here.
All right, so he's going to send the medevac down here. He wants to get the Mutalisks out of position here. Oh, I think we had a brief engagement there. And going to get at least 1 muta. 2.
Is he really? Oh, okay, there you go. I was like, what is this? But this looks good. And oh my god, the Banelings coming in. Does not want to use those yet, though. Targeting down mutas. Beautiful micro there by MMA. Taking out as many mutas as possible, ignoring the Zerglings, knowing that they are worthless.
All right, the hatchery is on the way now. This is
very well
heating up, Artosis.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to find that dropship. Small victory there for DRG. He is up in supply, as we see. And it looks like we still don't have a hive on the way, but the infestation pit is out. So whether he wants to use that for infestors, the hive starts just as I say that. And look at this. Nice harassment going in the back. He figures MMA is not going to be looking as hard for this. In fact, he may want to go after these Marines. He's got to be careful. They have great upgrades. More and more Marines do come down. As long as he has overwhelming mutas, he can come in. But as the medevac and more Marines come from the other side, a very smart withdrawal by DRG's mutas.
All right, he's moving out now with the siege tanks, the Marines, the Thors, but he's probably going to send a little bit more than that to make this work.
Well, a bunch of upgrades about to finish for DRG right now. The +2 melee and +1 mutalisc armor. Definitely going to help out quite a bit. His hive about half done. He needs to buy more time. He's not ready. Oh no!
Wow.
Oh, a sick hit on those clump mutas with the splash damage of the Thor. And this drop, he's way out of position to try to deal with the drop that's coming from MMA right now into his main.
Yeah, MMA can do a lot of damage here.
Checking for any possible expansions over in this area.
Both players at about even supply here.
Oh, look at
this.
this.
Here comes the drop now.
I don't know if we have any Zerglings anywhere nearby. And if he can target down some important tech trucks, that could be huge. Going now after missile turrets. Very well done. Harassment by both players.
Nice control here. Picks up and moves out yet again.
You know, a few mutas do pop out, but you know, a really smart harassment there by MMA, knowing where the most of the mutas were and harassing somewhere very far away with his medevac.
Yeah, great move there. The muta's now flying back, but he's got to be careful. There are two Thors there. Stimming, hitting the hatchery. Can he get the hatchery in time? The Zerg turns around when he realizes it's a potential trap.
Such a smart move by MMA. He was all set up to possibly kill off the army if it tried to come and try to help this base. So that base will in fact go down. It looks like DRG has decided he cannot live without that base. He's down in supply. And
he needs to shut the door.
Oh, sick timing to close that up. Does he have enough in here?
He needs to run with those SCVs.
Banelings.
He's coming in.
And the siege shank, beautiful micro by MMA.
Oh my God, he shot down every Baneling before he could do the damage necessary.
Oh God, DRG with almost nothing left. Erasing little pieces of army down here, but his supply has plummeted. It's at 116 against the 144 of MMA. MMA gonna go up to 4 bases while DRG stuck on 3.
And this is a bad situation to be in right when you're trying to switch Broodlords. You want to have a very solid army.
You really need that 4 bases, man. You can.
Yeah.
3 bases is not enough gas to truly support a hive tech army, and DRG knows that. He knows he's in trouble. In fact, he spent a lot of gas on those infestors. He's gonna really have to make those worth their money if he wants to come back in this game.
All right, another big question is, will MMA's base in the center right become up and running, and will it have enough defense there? You can see another drone sent out here to expand, but MMA is seemingly everywhere.
Indeed, but DRG's mutos are everywhere as well. How can two things occupy the same space? Only a scientist would know. But he's going to take down this command center and no 4th base. In fact, wait a minute. Marines coming up here.
Oh my God, at the last second, actually.
And he's still going to get it, yeah. Is he?
No.
Oh, wait, no, I guess he's not.
He knows he's low enough on a ground army that if he lost those mutas, the game would end.
By the way, that's why Leenock goes double spires, so that they can't just send a few Marines to save a base like that. Anyway, so here we go. He's got these. Oh, doesn't want to use Banelings on those. That would be a waste. MMA still has a bunch of units in the middle that aren't really protected all that well. This would be a great timing for DRG to go remove that army if he could figure it out. Look, see, that's a very small army. He could clean this up so easily as it runs away out of siege mode. But, you know, he doesn't have map hacks. He doesn't actually see everything.
Yeah, he can't see what we can see. Now, the siege tanks, the Marines, the Thors moving out. That's a lot of Thors that can tank a lot.
Well, he's got a few Broodlords here to try to make all those siege tanks unsiege. If they do, in fact, unsiege, the combination of